So what stance you are, if I'm in a horse stance, I got 50-50 weight distribution. You know, side stance, 50-50. You know, if I'm in more of a guard stance or a fighting stance, it's more of probably a 60-40. You know, you get into some traditional stances, and it's all a matter of where your weight is and, you know, which way you're facing. You want to be able to minimize your targets, maximize your own offense as you need it. So it's always a game of balance. Balance is the theme of this training. Now, I want to start off by saying that this is not a bad time with the pandemic and this social distancing. This is an awesome time because this brings me right back to my roots. When I was going through high school, it's like me, you know, my buddies, they were spending their time on mini bikes and stuff like that. I went to school, I came home, I went down in the basement. I worked out, I still even have the old notebooks. I got stacks and stacks of notebooks that kept track of how many push-ups I could do and how many sit-ups I do and weight training and, you know, all kinds of calisthenics and then all kinds of martial arts techniques, you know, and I've worked on martial arts and I've trained and I would work until I was dying. Then I'd come upstairs, my mom would do and she'd stomp on the floor, and then supper's ready. Go up and eat supper. Then I went into my bedroom and played the guitar. And I played the guitar for a couple of hours, do some reading, go to bed, wake up, and do it all over again. And nobody told me to do that. That was intrinsic. That was my drive. I cannot give you an intrinsic drive, but hopefully I can light a fire under it. Hopefully. Because that's what it'll take for you to be from average to awesome. So I want you to go out into a horse stance, and this concept of balance. If you are not balanced, you cannot mount an offense or defense. You cannot do anything. You are out of the game until you can recover your balance. So I want you to, with your legs bent, and the closer you get to the earth, the more power you can generate. The higher you are, the more mobility you have. So you have to find the balance. I want you guys to bend the knees, and this horse stance. Now, this is in Korean, they call this palputki. But it's a great exercise of showing that I'm pulling, in fact, even using a belt or a rope to push and pull, showing that these hands, I never do something with one hand alone, like this. If I put one hand like this, I don't think I could do anything with this hand, because this hand can't do the counter. Everything has its balance. Everything has its counter. Every yin has its yang. I want you guys loose, tight, loose, tight, loose, tight, loose, tight. And I'm just using the hips a little bit, as much as I need. I want 50 good ones. Go. And I'm going to watch you. Yeah, and I want to see that snap at the end. I'm going to get a little closer to my little bitty microphone so you can hear it. Hear that? That's audio feedback. Yeah. Dave, looking good there, man. Looking pretty good for a 25-year-old.
What's up, Barb?
Okay, that's going to take the place of our doing push-ups for warming up. Now I want you to do some crunches. The way I tell people to do crunches, so that they don't like hurt their neck or whatever, and you would adapt however you need to adapt. I sit up bring my legs up, touch my knees, down. So my back comes up, my feet come up, touch, down, up, touch. Give me 25 of them. Do that. And sometimes you need to modify. Always modify. But strive for good form, good technique, always. Let me see how it's looking there. Good try, Dave. And Dave, you know what you can do if it's hard, you can always hook your feet under your sofa, so you get a little support, you know.
Yeah.
But what I always think of is once my form starts going awry, then I've got to wheel it back in, because 100 bad techniques is nothing. It's basically you've programmed bad behavior, and you want to always be trying to strive for whittling away the unessential, and so only the essential movement is revealed, what's left. And it's the same in life. I mean, this class, for me, coming down to be a guest instructor for Master Barnes, the theme of this is balance. Because for me, this is balance for me, guys. I work out. I read voraciously, write. I play guitar, and I watch An Idiot Abroad or whatever, you know. So there's going to be something intellectual, or I won't say mental, but intellectual. There's going to be something, you know, physical. There's going to be something creative. There's going to be play, and it's going to be different for everybody. But I don't make any excuses for doing that. It's like, well, how much money are you going to make? You're not going to be on American Idol. Why are you playing the guitar? Because it keeps me balanced. It keeps me balanced. Find what your balance points are. For some people, it's carving, it's whittling, it's ice carving or whatever. But if you love to do it, that's what you should do. And find the ways, because it's only when you're balanced that you can be effective in life. Because when I come up, if I come up and I spar with you, I'm just going to knock you off balance. And when you're off balance, you can't do anything. You can't strike. You can't defend yourself. You can't launch an attack. Nothing. It's the same in life. So these aspects, creative, intellectual or analytical, physical, and downtime, play, relaxation. If you find yourself out of sorts, take a look at one of those four. I'll guarantee you one of them or a couple of them are out of balance or have been forgotten. Yeah, whoa, got to do a couple more sit-ups, you know, whatever, you know. But that's the theme of it. We're going to see that tonight too. So now I'm going to do just some leg stretching. So I want you to come down to the center. I want you to hands up on the floor, and I want you to slide your knees down. Hopefully you guys can see me okay. My monitor over there is angled back, so I can kind of see. But this takes, it's side splits, but it takes the knees out of the equation. If you do traditional side splits, it puts an awful lot of lateral stress on the knees. With this stretch, there's the back, center, and forward position. And you want to gently rock between them. When I'm moving in a stretch, that's called a dynamic stretch. Dynamically stretching. Yoga has dynamic stretching and it has static stretching, just like we do. In fact, yoga is a great workout, highly recommend it. I do it every week. Okay, and you should feel this right on the adductor muscles in your groin. And they're very strong muscles. You don't want to pull one. And I'm sure Master Barnes has pulled them. I know I have. And it's bugger. White connective tissue is white for a reason. There's no blood flow. That makes healing very, very slow. Okay, come over on your back. Now, I'm going to turn and show you it this way. I see this a lot. Watch me. I'm going to collapse down and hunker down like this. My back is curved. I'm trying to bring my forehead down. And that's totally opposite of what you want to do. Sometimes sitting with your back flat against the wall is a stretch. It doesn't matter what your starting point is, as long as your technique doesn't suffer. So with my legs aren't out as far as I can get them out, but they're just moderate out, but my back is straight. So if I rotated my pelvic girdle back, I'd hunch. See that? And I rotate my pelvis forward, and it lifts. This is the position you want to achieve. And from there, we're going to do dynamic. Just down to this one, sliding to the center, over here. And I say to people, do this, put your nose on the floor, and drive it over. But actually, I don't care if you can do that. This might be it. And then couple times, and then make sure you go back the other way. I've noticed that at my stage of the game of training, I've developed enough strength and technique to damage my own joints. All the injuries I've gotten have not been from other people. They've been from me. I put so much power into that snap of that hook kick that I almost threw the bottom part of my leg off, and it damaged my cartilage in my knee. So, you know, this is very important aspect of it. Okay, now let's begin. Get ready for action. Okay, we got about 45 minutes of torture for you. You guys will love this. Did Paul leave us, Gary?
It appears.
No.
There he is.
I didn't leave.
Ah, there he is. What's up, Paul?
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah.
And I don't have anybody muted except Lauren. Hey, Lauren's there. I'm going to click on mute. Hi, Lauren. You can just wave because there's a little time lag. How you doing? I didn't notice when you joined me. I can hear you now.
Hello.
Yeah, introduce yourself to Master Barnes here.
Hello, Master Barnes.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Lauren's my cousin from New York State. So what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to mute everybody just to save bandwidth because everybody's online, everybody's Zooming. Everybody is doing things that are crushing bandwidth. Even though we've got an ample amount, there's no doubt some bottlenecks around. So if we can whittle down the bandwidth consumption, if you guys need me, we've got 2 instructors here watching me from this end, Master Barnes from his. Raise your hand, we'll unmute you if you have a question, but just try to follow along. And sorry, Lauren, I didn't notice at what point you joined, if you heard my soliloquy about balance.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes, I did.
Because that's the most important thing is achieving balance. Now, whether it's in combat or in life, you can't be effective in either until you achieve it. So let me mute everybody, and if you have a question, raise your hand. We will answer it. And sorry, Dave. I'm going to mute you, pal. Hi, Barbara. How are you? Okay, we got some more people. Let's see. There's Phil. What's up, brother?
Not much, you?
Not much. Good to see you, man. Okay, yeah. So Gary, we got more people joining all the time, so you can help me keep track of it all. So hopefully you guys are a little bit warmed up there. I don't know, Lauren, if you went through our stretching routine or not. But,
I did.
Warmed up, and I'm going to recap a little bit that what is stancing? It's your weight distribution, it's your distance from the earth, and it's your perspective to your opponent. So if you're giving too many of your vital organs away, you might want to minimize that. If you want to achieve more power, drop down lower. If you want to have more mobility, be up higher. Then you can go faster, cover distance. Everyone, the way I teach martial arts is I do not teach people to perform like me. I show what everything from long range into close range is, and I watch you, and your body tells me who you are, and I help you to develop who you are, because we don't need another me. So I'd rather have 1,000,000 originals than a bunch of perfect photocopies. That's redundant, okay? All right, so I want you guys to start. We're gonna start, use this, I call it a fighting stance. Master Barnes calls it a guard stance, but we're pretty equal weight distribution, kind of favoring the back leg, because we want to have this front hand and leg able to intercept if it needs to be, if it needs to do that. As a small guy, I have found that, well, my strength is I'm a yellow jacket / honey badger. And when I'm in the combat situation, I'm way out here and you think you're safe. And I can launch in and attack with my lead and take away your mobility. And then by the time you realized I covered a lot of distance, it's already too late. So we're going to start from here. And what I want you to do is we're going to start not with singles. I want to start because I want to maximize our time as best I can. I want to start with combinations. But combinations are just two single things, and you can't skimp on any of them. And we're going to start with the hand techniques, and it's a straight line. I teach from a mathematical Fibonacci sequence type of an analytical perspective. I don't care where it came from. I care, is it a line or is it a circle? I want you guys to do two lines for me. I want you to do a jab followed by a cross. Notice this hand came up here because it's already right there. If that one missed and they countered, it's already ready to block, to grab, come in with the up, whatever. So you again, it's martial arts is binary. There's nothing done single. This goes out, this comes in. This goes over, this goes up. Okay, so I want you to go jab, cross. So it's going to go. For the musically minded among us, half beat, full beat. So it's boom, boom. This is just interrupting them, hitting them in the nose. So I want you to do 5 combinations. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Switch your stance. 5 on that side. Let me see your other side. Yeah. And Lauren, watch your stance that you're not giving away too many of your internal organs by being too forward facing. Okay? So we want to be about like a 45-degree angle. Here, here, and I'm covering here. Okay? Those are not close range techniques. Those are medium range techniques. Punches, medium range. Kick is long range. Okay, once you come back to right foot back, I want you to do that same jab That's medium range, and now I want you to slide in with the elbow. So this one is just going to open the door, and then the elbow. Notice how your hips are going to power it. So this is going to interrupt, and this is going to power. And even though this looks like showing a lot of ways of being offensive and hurtful to people, I don't ever do that. More often than not, whatever they give me, I take away, and I'll throw that elbow, and it stops right in front of their nose, and they're like, oh, that could have been really damaging. Good thing I'm a nice guy. So, you know, I don't want you guys to be Cobra Kai out there, okay? So, 1, 2, those are 2 ranges. 2. Give me 5 on each side. Let me see how it's looking. Yeah, and this elbow is like sliding across the table. So it's this horizontal plane. Okay, elbows can be vertical. They can come up, they can come down, they can come over, they can come back. But you really want to think of the motion that's being traveled. Okay? Now, if you're done with that, you've done both sides, I want you to return with your right foot back. I want this front hand to be a finger flick. Yeah, it doesn't sound too damaging, unless somebody flicks you right into the eyes. I'm not saying gouge somebody's eyes out, but a little finger flick to the eyes will make them pause. Remember, if you take their balance away, if you take their mental balance away, you make them confused, you take their consciousness away, it's all really a matter of balance. When you take that away, they cannot hurt you. Whether if they punch in and you just jerk them off balance, doesn't matter what did it, they can't hurt you. Okay, so this finger flick to come to the eyes, and then this backhand to come in as a chop. And the thing about a chop is my palm is down and it's going to rotate. So I'm going to finger flick, notice straight out like a viper. Out, and then that's to the temple, to the neck. It can even be used to the chest. You can maximize it with a fist. Give me 5 combinations each side. Let me see what they look like. Yeah, and your vertical, how you rotate vertically, it's so imperative. This is refinement, constant refinement. Okay.
Finger whip is my favorite strike, Kurt.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a great one. Good, Barb. Dave, it's good. Lauren. Okay. What? Wait a minute. Are you changing wardrobes? It's coming dressed differently, you know. Okay. So with the hands and with the feet, I want you guys to think not in terms of style or geographic origin. I want you to think lines and circles. So we're doing some combinations like that. And notice I was saying to start with the front hand, finish with the back hand. Okay? If we were face to face and with each other, we could go flick, strike, wrap down into an elbow lock. Can't do any elbow locks with social distancing, so sorry about that. Or any ground fighting, Paul. Social distancing, though we would like to do it. Okay? So, but what I want you to do is get the feel of how these are working together. When this hand comes out, my other hand automatically comes up to the place where I'm vulnerable. You got 4 quadrants in front of you. You know, octave, septime, sextate, quartet in fencing. And it's like, when I come up here, I'm going to come up with there. If I strike up there, I'm going to guard them there. And I'm going to know that window's open, so I might have to come in there. And it just becomes feel once you understand the basic mechanics of it. Okay? So now we're going to mix it up with hands and feet. Actually, before we do that, let me catch up some of you with the foot techniques. I want you to do, with the back leg, a front kick. Do some, because we got some people that are beginners and some people that are not beginners. We got black belts in here like that. So doesn't matter if you're a black belt. You love and we strive to work on very, very small refinements. You know, not sophisticated things. So I want the back leg, and you're kicking. If you see my foot position, I'm kicking with the ball of my foot. So it's like a nail driving through. So I want this. And I want you to give me 10 of them on each side. Go. Because I want to see that you know how to do a front kick. Yep, that's it, Lauren. Good, good. And Paul's like, I know what a front kick is. That's it, Dave. Yeah. Now, as I see you guys doing that, this whole idea of social distancing and like that, that's nothing to me. My life has not changed a bit. There's a lot of people that I don't see, you know, as much, but my basic things, you know, my basic habits have not changed. I train, I play the guitar, I do my technology work, I watch TV, and I rinse and repeat. But this is a rattan bow staff. I like rattan because it is so strong it cannot be broken. I couldn't hit this over a cinder block and break it. But I'm not using it as a staff, I'm just using it as a weight. So like Dave, like as you're working on these techniques, each single thing there's minute revisions and refinements. So I want you guys, as we go through this, like with the front kick, your weight distribution wasn't anywhere, but what will start off is this, you know, because you don't know how to do it, gradually will be to where your upper body, nothing moves that doesn't need to move. And if you have trouble with that, something like this is a great tool to have, because it'll give you that stability to where you can build the strength of the supporting muscles, and then they're strong and they don't take away from the muscles that are designed to deliver the power. So it's not cheating. I say, if you can't do that and hold a side kick out like that, you can't do a side kick. If you can't do a side kick and not move, you can't do a side kick and move. Okay, so now I want you to take the front leg and I want you to do a roundhouse kick. Now a roundhouse kick, I could, if it was Thai boxing, I'd be using my shin. So you can use anything from your instep all the way up to your shin, but it's coming laterally that way. So I want you to give me 10 on one side, and I'm kicking with the front leg. Switch, 10 on the other. Let me see what it looks like. Yeah, and your hips will roll over so that it can come right like that. You don't want it angled this way, you want it that way. And that's going to come into play when we do our hook kicks and things. Okay, and as soon as, yeah, so, and synchronize your breathing. All you yoga people, all you martial artists. You exhale when you deliver the power. You inhale when you retract. So, and that's the next technique I want you guys to do. Before we go into some maybe fancier things, I want you to use this front leg, and I like to to fancy this because most people don't use it. Master Barnes will tell you that if I'm 10 feet away from you, you'll feel safe. And I use music a lot. And I say from 10 feet away, I can hit you within 1 beat before you knew you were in danger. You felt as though your safety zone was intact, when in fact it wasn't. And the way I've learned, because I've had to adapt to who I am. What are my gifts? What are my limitations? My limitations are I'm short and small. So what I learned to do is stay out here and how to cover distance really effectively. So that means using that front leg a lot. And also watch this, because we're going to go to that front leg side kick. And there's a couple of different ways of closing that range. I can step and kick, or step and kick. I can skip and kick, or I can do this. I cock it, and when I kick, my back foot slides. So let me see, make sure so I'm out here, I'm keeping my mobility, so I'm out of range, and then when I kick, I slide. Right when I kick, both at the same time. I'm not doing one then the other. I'm doing them at the same time. That will give you about 4 or 6 inches that you didn't have. That's enough. So you use your front leg. Think of sliding in when you kick. This side kick, you're hitting with the heel, not the front, not the foot. You're kicking with the foot like that. Come on. Give me 10 on each side. Let me see them. And what I'm looking for is the lines and circles of your technique. And I know it looks like I'm looking over it on the side, but I have 2 monitors here. Yeah, and there is no overly basic technique. It's like I can practice a side kick for an hour. You know, one thing that children can't understand is intrinsic motivation. I'll get a little bit lower so you can see me. Intrinsic motivation, which is you had the desire to figure out, how am I going to do this? You know, I don't need, a lot of people are like, okay, now do 10 more push-ups. Okay, now do 10 more. As a response to the instructor given, I have no intentions of being anybody's personal trainer, but I can show you how to develop your technique. You do the work, and then I can come back and I can say, okay, this is how you refine it. But that can only happen with intrinsic motivation. It's, you know, within you. So that coupled with creativity, because if you are doing it's like, well, my sidekick should be great. I do 1,000 a day, and this is how you do them. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, like anybody will say, I'm only doing 1 kick, and I'm doing it 1,000 times. 1 kick. When I throw a side kick, the floor shakes. That's not boastful. That means I'm doing it right. Okay? So I want you to kick with that front leg like that. Now, we did this kick, we did roundhouse kick and side kick. I want you guys to try with a front leg hook kick. That is the opposite circle of the roundhouse kick. Roundhouse kick comes in this way. Your hook kick is going to come in this way. And it's going to have a snap to it if you do it right. Cock it, shoot it, recock it. Give me 10 on each side and let me see it. With your front leg. Hear that? And yeah, Aaron, that's nice. Nice. Yes. Let me see it again, Lauren. Yeah, think of this too. It's kind of like kick-starting a bike, but you're laying down. It's something that you really have to work at, and people get overly tight. That's another thing another attribute I want to touch on is tension. When I do a technique, like I might do this, and you might feel or see
Your front leg, Rick.
But there's really no tension in my body. I'm like a noodle, and I'm just moving head first, shoulders next, cock the leg, shoot it out, and it's following actually a Fibonacci sequence, just like a snail shell. So it's a natural law that makes it powerful, not me. What people will do is they're trying to put too much power, try to put too much speed, and that hinders them. So with that front leg, give me like 3 more on each side so that I can see you guys and see everybody. Yeah. Yeah, and Master Barnes will tell you, this kick right here is a knockout kick. Good. I was in a tournament one time, and I saw this guy. Tournament fighting is funny because they got 2 divisions: lightweight, heavyweight, and it's split down the middle at like 165. That was like 130. I'm fighting this guy that was about 164 and a half, and he was like 6'3". And I figured, well, he's not going to think I'm going to attack right as soon as they said, go. They said, go. I slid in, boom, and I hit him with a spinning hook kick that hit his headgear, and it spun his headgear around, and he was looking out of the vents of the headgear before he went down. It was an awesome memory for me. Maybe not so for him. Okay, so now that you guys have the basics of, front with the front leg, I should show you that. Like, notice where my foot is pointing when I do the front kick or roundhouse kick, but when I do the side kick, watch what my supporting foot does. See that? It shoots over and it turns, facing the opposite way. That gives me structural alignment to allow the power to go through my skeletal structure and not be inhibited. It's like shooting an arrow that's got a crack in the shaft. If it does, it's not going to penetrate, it's going to break the arrow. And so you have to align everything so that the power generated from the earth goes through your skeletal structure and doesn't get stuck somewhere that could damage you or weaken your technique. Okay, now I want to do some more sophisticated techniques with you and let you try these out. All right, this one is a really good technique. Can be used defensively against a guy coming in with a punch or even with a stick. And there's lots of ways. These things fit together like logos. I want you guys to do 2 kicks. We're going to do a back leg crescent kick. So if you think of, in some of my fancy training gear, what is this? It's a piece of PVC pipe wrapped in foam and duct tape. Works great. And of course, I've got my cat's favorite, which is a little ball on a string. And it is a really good, I've used these for decades. So they're really good. So if you think of this being the guy's arm, or a guy coming at you this way, this hand is going to hit this leg is going to hit this arm, and it's going to open up his middle. And as you do that, you're going to continue to turn and back kick right into the center. So it's going to look like this. 1, 2, And I want you to do 10 of those on each side. That's 20 kicks each side. Go. Let's see what it looks like. Back leg will crescent kick. Then back leg will side kick. Come on, Sarah. I see you grinning there. I don't see the kick in there.
Yes, I was just laughing because I said, guess who will not be doing that in a dress?
Oh.
That would be me.
Well,
Yes, it's live.
yeah, that's good. TMI, I know. So, you're doing 1, 2. What am I doing? A circle and a line, right? First one is circular, opens up the middle line, and then I come right down the pike. And then you do the same on the other side. Okay. Now I want you guys to do it, and I want you to do it 2 circles. The first one is going to be a crescent kick. The second one is going to be a hook kick. And with the hook kick, I'm coming all the way 360 degrees around. I don't care if you do a crescent kick. I find that people can either do naturally a crescent kick or a roundhouse kick, but rarely both as novices, because they're different. One's toes up, one the hips are rotated over and it's coming laterally. So I don't care if you do a roundhouse kick, spinning hook kick, that's fine. Give me 10 on each side. And I don't know when I can adapt to dresses. I should have worn a dress maybe, Sarah, but
Maybe not.
yeah, definitely not.
Maybe not.
Yeah, and then
Not on camera.
it's like I can as I see I can't overemphasize that in order to develop speed and power, don't try. Try to be loose and flexible. So loose. And if you can hear that, I'm going to come closer to the camera with that. And it's like, I'm not putting any power into that. I'm not. The universe is, because of the forces that are being used. But you develop that. The more you work at it, the more you're liable to injure yourself. Okay? Now, if you've done that and you're ready to graduate to the next one, and I got to keep checking in and seeing, it's like, I'm going to wear a dress, so I don't have to do any kicking techniques. I got your number now. So I'm going to tell Master Barnes to watch out for you. All right. What I'm going to do is, and I don't have a partner to show you that all of this applies to something real, as opposed to, some kind of, traditional, something that's like, well, what are you doing there? Oh, I don't really know what the application is. Well, why do it? Well, maybe for strength, flexibility, balance, whatever. But everything that I do, there's a physical application to it. I'm going to do this. I'm doing a low front kick. What that is the guy's advancing towards me. That low front kick intercepted him in the knee and went pop. What does it do to the head? It makes him bend and his head comes forward. That's why the second roundhouse kick is going to hit right upside the head. The last one is going to be a spinning crescent kick. Looks like a low kick, but my toes are up. Okay, so it's a front kick, roundhouse kick, crescent kick. Front kick, roundhouse kick. Crescent. And they can actually, blend. That's 3 kicks. Let me see you try that. And what I'm looking for is balance. Yeah. Now we're doing 2 kicks with one leg, 1, 2, 1 kick with the back leg. I don't usually do this, and I've been doing a lot of this stuff because it's a good workout. obviously, as you can tell with these glaring lights on, it's a good workout. But for me, here's the way I approach application of what we are doing. I go in with my partner and I say, okay, let's go. Give me anything you got because I can't lose. And they think, well, that's a little bit overconfident. And I say, no, that doesn't mean that I'm going to beat you. That means you're going to either reveal a chink in my armor that I didn't know was there. Awesome. I didn't know that that was open. Thank you. And then I got something to work on. Or I'm going to take you out and I win then too. So, but that confidence that you get over training of I've been hit and I've hit. So I have no fear of it. It changes your aura, which changes the way people react to you. And the way I would respond in a combat situation is you will think a little guy would want to keep my distance. I come right in and I take your balance away first. Maybe if you can see this back, this is a Wing Chun kick. I'm stomping, and that's so elusive because my upper body doesn't give it away. And I can come and take that away, sweep this arm away, hit with my elbow, grab your arm, come down with an arm lock, and they fit together like Legos. So trust me that all of these things, if you do them and shave off all the excess, they will fit together just like Legos. And that, to me, that's what's important. I'm sorry, I don't know, there's people that are very, very hooked on lineage. Oh, my instructor was trained by so-and-so instructor. I don't care about any of that. I care about developing the first authentic you, just you. Finding out what your strengths, what your weaknesses are, and showing you how to maximize your strengths so that you develop your own martial art philosophy. It's only circles and lines, right? Okay, so now let's add some hands to it. So we're going to do a jab, a cross, a crescent kick, and a hook kick. Yeah, and I'm 60 years old almost. Okay, jab, cross, crescent kick, hook kick. That's 4 kicks. Give me 10 of them on each side. And let me see those cameras steaming up. Sarah's like, I wasn't dressed for this occasion. Like, I got your number.
I'm in Texas right now.
You can do because you have a dress on. You owe me 10 push-ups.
I could do 10 push-ups.
How's
That's
that?
fair. I could do that in a dress. I could do that. That is fair. I can make that happen.
I'm sure you can. I'm sure you can. Okay, so, and then over onto the other side. So you can see, we're putting one thing and another thing, and another thing, and another thing, and it's all just unwinding. It's like a coiled spring.
No!
But one thing that I should tell you guys too, when you're doing hand techniques, make sure that you understand that a hand technique is not one single thing. Your hands generate power together, either this way or like scissors by working against or towards each other. So when I do, like, I can do a knife hand block, and you've seen this in traditional karate, but there's no blocks in traditional karate, really, they're all strikes. Somebody could throw a punch and I could block, and I'm just striking the radius bone, and I'm cracking. And now I've got a hold of it. And then I come in with my elbow that comes up under the chin and wraps around the arm and bends it. And now I got a shoulder lock and you're down. So, you want to train for balance. 2 things at the same time. And with the kicks, that's a little bit different, but it's still, it depends on, technique. But You have technique, the accuracy of your technique, and you've got attributes. This is something that is beyond child understanding. You've got the attributes of speed, power, accuracy, and timing. And timing is probably the most important, because your timing gets better the more you do it, irrespective of your age. It's like I can see something coming a mile away, where when I was younger, I had to be quicker to react to it because I didn't see it coming. But now it's like I can see it coming. I could go down, put gas in the car, come back, and then block it and take it, you know, because I saw it coming from before. So I don't, you know, that's called perceptual speed. But you can use these different little tools, creative, at how to use these tools to develop your speed. Like I would take, say, a kicking day. Start with finesse, accuracy, speed, timing, and then go to power. Not the other way around. You don't work power first and then try to do accuracy. And you're only limited by your intrinsic desire and your creativity at how to do it. So hopefully you guys will, you know, come up with some creative things other than coming into class wearing a dress. That's cheating. Okay. Now I'm gonna close it up because I could go for another hour. But what I want you guys to do, let me see those push-ups. That I don't care. And what I want you to do is you do just regular push-ups. And I want you to give me 20 of them. However, if you can, I want you to do these. Now, you don't have to give me 20. These are called Superman push-ups. Okay, I encourage you to try to do them. Try to do one. Lay on your belly, stick your arms out straight, and push yourself off the ground. Don't do it to where you hurt your back. And you can develop that ability by bringing them in closer, closer, closer until you can do them. But what I want you to do is give me 20 push-ups, and I want you to come off the floor. So a plyometric additive to it. So we're coming up. Give me 20 jumping push-ups. And I know you're not going to do. Oh, good.
I'm going to do them now.
Huh? I think you're a troublemaker.
Well, we all know that.
No. Yeah, now you're doing some funky camera angles and stuff. You're totally, you know, disoriented. Good. Paul, those are just some killer push-ups. That's it. All right, now, and the thing is like, you know, like say you're working your chest. Well, that's very complex. Like if you move your hands up by your ears and do push-ups up there, you're going to work higher on your chest. Or down here, bring your elbows in. That's going to work in different. Give me diamond push-ups, and all I want is you to come down, and if you can, you touch your chest to the diamond. You back up and show you. I'm coming here and up. 2, 3, and give me 10 of them. And any of you folks that want to, you can go to the Blackhawk Martial Arts group page on Facebook and join. Anybody can join. Here's the prerequisite. Do you train in martial arts? I have people that join that they don't train in martial arts. Well, it's a martial arts group, you know? So share a lot of things of all different perspectives and like that. And, you know, we can give you basics that when you're self-quarantining, there's nothing to keep you from doing 2,000 kick days or 2,000 punch days. I do traditional forms. Master Barnes doesn't do them, but I do them, and I'll say, do your forms mirror image. Like if it starts this way and continues here, do it the opposite way. Go here. How about doing it all in place? Or how about with your eyes closed? Put tape on the floor, do your form, and then when you're done, open your eyes and see if you're over the tape. And if you're not, something's goofy. So anything that you do, it's a matter of being creative to bring the focus of your attention into the moment when you're doing it. That's what will make you good. Okay? All right, now sit down. I want up to here and down. These are modified V-ups, kind of a yoga modified V-up, but these are real good core techniques. Okay? Give me 15 of those.
They lifted up your legs and your hands are coming up at the same time.
Hi, Juan. How you doing? Phil, that's a boy. Aaron, what's up, buddy? Good to see you.
Good seeing you too.
Yeah, we had some technical glitches with I don't know, probably everybody was zooming at the same time early on, and I know Axel, they had some problems and crash and burn, but you know. Okay. Be inventive with these. Like, you know, whatever you do, remember the key of this balance. Now, as martial artists, if I'm in a dangerous situation and I take your balance away in whatever way, whether it's your balance of confidence or your physical balance, whatever, if you lose your balance, you cannot pose a threat to me until you regain your balance. So balance is the key to everything, you know, and so we always want to do balance. Whatever you do for your chest, you want to do equally for your back. Whatever you do pushing up, you want to do pulling down, and Aaron can tell you the intricacies of weight training and conditioning and like that. But you need to be balanced, especially balanced on your spine, because you know when I was a kid, we were pounding out sit-ups all the time, but we weren't doing anything to strengthen the lower back. And what it did is threw my spine on a little bit out of kink, and it was painful. So balance is the key. All right, so I'm going to back up a little bit. I want you guys to sit down. I know we're running a little bit late, but I don't want to make sure that you get this. Okay. Now, like I said at the beginning of the class, I said that here, rotating forward, that might be the starting place. And you could say, well, I'm not trying to kick somebody in the head. And I would say, when I was a kid, I might have thought of that, doing some flamboyant stuff. But I'll say that when I am really flexible, I am so loose that I can perform so much better. I want you guys to think of it like this. If I'm going to break down a door, I'm the police, I'm going to break down a door. I've got this battering ram, but I only got 2 inches. How much force can I generate? But if I can throw it way back here, I can generate so much more force, and that's what flexibility gives you, is more range of motion of every joint. That's why it's important. I rarely kick higher than the lower rib cage, the floating ribs. Rarely, okay? So I want you guys to sit here. I want you to come down to the right side. Notice, keep your back straight. Right down, and hold it. Here are, anybody who's familiar with Bill Superfoot Wallace, the 3 T's of stretching. Temperature, that temperature. Tension, not torture, and time. Put the time into it. I know some people, they go like, ah, and whew, that was terrible. Ah, and really, what are they doing? They're making their muscles angry. Yeah, just hold it moderate tension for a long time. And come over to the other side. Maybe a count of 10. And now come down to the center, and this is the one where it's so easy to hurt yourself. What I do is I bring my hands on the inside of my legs, and I'm bringing my chin down. I guess I better back up a little bit so I don't kill the camera angle. And I want to keep my chin up, not do this. Keep my back straight and come down to here. And then if you put your hands out and make your lower back pull you up, that's a way to balance the stretch out. You'll notice if you did that, you'll be able to go down much easier because you made yourself, put your hands back here and make it harder. You want to make it harder for yourself? Put your hands out here and sit up. And by accentuating the negative, then the positive becomes effortless. Okay, you folks have my contact information, Master Barnes' contact information. I am thrilled that you guys came, helped me get a workout. Hopefully I gave you guys some tips and some structure as to the ideas of balance and of synergy. And as a computer technology guy, binary code, and the yin and yang and Taoism, it's all wrapped up into one. You can't have one without the other. So whenever you're doing one, find out what the other is, because that has to be addressed as well. If the one is your chest strength, the other might be your back strength. Okay, so strive for balance in your life, creatively, intellectually, physically, and emotionally, in whatever combination that works for you. Okay, thank you very much, and shoot any kind of emails to me if you want, and glad to have you guys. Have a good night.
Thanks, Kurt.
You're welcome.
Nice
Thank you.
Good to see you.